Hi, I'm Trent Sungard. I farm with my family east of Calgary, central Alberta. We produce chickens and wheat and barley and canola. When you come into my farmyard, you'll see grain bins. You'll have a designated place to park. You'll see signs alerting you to the attention of biosecurity and restricted access zones, and places where you can go and places where we don't want you to be. And the reason we do that is because we need to look after the health and welfare of our animals. And although they're high performance race cars, almost is a good analogy, they still are sensitive and susceptible to outside challenges that perhaps they're not prepared for. So ever since I started walking the chicken barns when I was a young boy, we've seen incredible changes in our industry, in the chicken industry. And we've seen changes, very significant changes in our nutrition. We've seen massive changes in our ability to manage the environment in our chicken houses through microprocessors and computers and automation and controllers. And just the general understanding of ventilation and the ability to just build better, build smarter, and be wiser with our investment of time and our money.
So these are big ventilation fans, and we use them primarily in the summertime when we have some challenges with heat. We need to keep our birds cool and the barn environment favorable for production and growth. We're battened down for the winter time. So fan covers cover the fan being exposed to the wind. East wind, we're completely exposed here. So east wind in wintertime in Alberta can be pretty bone chilling. So we put these fan covers on. We have insulated covers inside, and that's an effort to control and manage the barn temperature. So this is a solar collector. We take energy from the sun, especially in wintertime. That's the best time we're gonna get benefit from that. So the albedo from the sun reflects onto our solar wall with black, very high gain for solar energy. On that wall, we bring our air through the wall. It's perforated, and it goes into the barn and helps condition our air, so we have better conditions for the chickens. Also helps address our heating loss. So the birds that we have in the barn right now are 28 days, and you'll see them, some of the feathers on the top of the backs of the birds are not completely filled out, and they're just going through a transition period where they've gone from cute little fluffy chickens now to perhaps adolescence, and they're changing. Their bodies are really rapidly changing daily, and in a short week they'll be completely feathered. So when we get baby chicks, you'll see a little different environment in the barn. We actually put a wall up in between the drinker and feed lines, and we divide the barn into two parts. The part behind us, or to my left, is where we keep our baby chicks. And after about 5-6 days, we open up the rest of the house. And the reason we do that is for social reasons, for nutrition reasons, and behavior reasons. And what I'm referring to there is when one baby chick sees another baby chick drinking water, it helps that other baby chick get on water, which helps the other baby chicks get on water and feed. And it really is a training process. It helps them understand where the barn, or how the barn works, where the feed is, where the water is. So when I come in the barn to do my chores or to check the chickens several times a day, I'll open the door and I'll listen, I'll look, I smell, and I observe the general behavior of the chickens. So I talked about the water and the feed. This is where the chickens get the feed most of their life, from these pans. When we get baby chicks, these pans move up, these pans flood out with feed, so there's feed up to this lid. And then as the birds get older, they get in the pan, they make a mess. So to stop that, we lift the feed lines up, the pans drop down, and the feed no longer floods, and it's similar to what you see here. So when a bird is thirsty, it comes up to the water line to this little nipple or pin, and it touches the pin, and it gets a drink of water. This is a closed system. It's always protected from dust. We use treated water, and we monitor this as part of our food safety program. We make sure the food or the water is of potable standards through Alberta Health Services. They monitor and give us feedback on the quality of our water. As the bird ages, we lift the water line up, we increase the water pressure. We have lots of animals, we have lots of activity, we have very high metabolic activity specifically going on. There's lots of respiration, lots of water being exhaled, lots of water being excreted. So to manage that water, we ventilate, and because we ventilate, we heat. We control our temperature and thus our humidity through negative pressure. So we have fans that suck the air out of the chicken house, and they bring the air in through inlets on the walls that we can control the static pressure or the amount of vacuum that the fans inhibit onto our chicken house. I walk through the barn, I look at the chickens, I look at their behavior, I can feel the litter, make sure that it's moist but not wet, it's not dry. If it's really dry, it can create some dust issues which can lead to some respiratory problems. I make sure that the bird population within the barn is distributed evenly and there's no wet spots, maybe there's a cable broke or a feed line has made a mess. And just want to make sure that the environment that we're producing our chickens is the best that we can provide. So in addition to our water lines, to our feed lines, to our fans, our heat, we have another very critical, important piece of equipment, and that's our light. And it's important to us and important to the chicken. We have computer equipment that regulates the time or the duration or photo period, or how long the light is on for in the barn. We control how long it takes for the light to go off and how long it takes for the light to go on. So we call that a sunrise, sunset. So by changing the photo period throughout the chicken's life cycle, we can influence its behavior, we can control and encourage feed intake and water intake, and make sure it's really, really critical. Make sure that that chicken gets ample sleep. So it needs darkness, and we promote that. We would call this barn a free run barn. So when you buy your chicken and it says free run, this is what it would mean. Do I like it? It's my life. I've grown up doing that, and hopefully I can pass this privilege on to my kids.